Hey guys, welcome back to part 3 of Stories, the story of Destinies, I believe. Anyway, so the next part we get unlock the third truth, and that is this here. So I wonder what it is, but let's continue
But
and
that
we'll
meant
find out more.
there must be a destiny where he survived and won, right? Otherwise, what was the point? And with that, the book's pages fluttered back once more to the beginning, and the clouds parted over the Isles of Boreas. It was time to choose. The rebellion was in trouble. Ravens were scouting for the secret rebel base. They needed a game changer. Pieces of the Sky Ripper had surfaced, or so a scholar in the mountains had told him. Surely the weapon that banished the lost gods could defeat the Emperor. Also, a temple had risen out of empty desert. The Emperor had brought the Sky Ripper pieces up out of ancient burial by his obscene rituals. Could this be where the Iess Stone was hidden? Someone better get it before he does, thought Reynardo. And also, his old friend Lupino needed rescuing. Of course, Reynardo had a pretty strong suspicion that Lupino had betrayed the rebellion. But could Reynardo really leave an old friend to the Ravens?
So what we're going to do, the third truth is actually about the Iess Stone.
The island was windswept desert. No one went there except ostriches and ostrich hunters. The Iess Stone. It sounded ominous. It sounded powerful. If the Emperor was searching for it, it must be dangerous. And so, Reynardo went ostrich hunting.
So please leave any feedbacks or comments below, give me a like and subscribe. So part 3 is about the Ibis Stone. It's actually quite straightforward, and it's quite easy to get. So let's just watch and see where
Every
we go.
child could sing verses about the Sky Ripper, but ancient codices held hints of other things. A stone that ate souls, a ruby that drank blood, a jewel only a righteous man could give away. Were all these things the Iess Stone? Long hidden in a buried temple? Another ancient item that was only resurfacing now? Drawn up from the deeps by the Emperor's horrific rituals? What could he craft with the materials he had? Reynardo had a pretty good idea, actually.
So there's a few chests around here, a total of 3 chests, which is quite good. So I'm going to try and save up for this last sword. We're still missing 3 wind essence and 6 ores.
Reynardo distrusted doors that opened automatically, especially after being buried for millennia. Was this some sort of trap?
And then we're going to go down.
Everybody knew you shouldn't trust a raven further than you could throw one. But did Reynardo not count? The ravens were already here, cawing in frustration. They were still searching for a way in. Good. Then he hadn't come too late. It was time for him to learn something new. He felt bad for people who had to study. Hero wall. Hero sword. Ice wall. Ice cube.
So I've never been to this part of the dungeon, but you have been chosen in this critical mission for your ability to follow orders to the letter without question. Do not believe the naysayers. Your score in the intelligence test is only proof that you're better gear than anyone else to follow orders. Take pride in the following that I, your emperor, have handpicked you for this mission. Follow the instructions to the letter. Always travel in pairs. Do not look at the engravings in the wall. Do not lose the hermetic box. When you find a stone, immediately place it in the box and seal the box. If you hear a voice in your head, ignore it. Remember, the temple is haunted. Obviously, this is an old temple. There were blood sacrifices. Of course, it would be haunted. Ignore it. The voice in your head. Remember, ghosts cannot hurt you, but they will try to confuse you. When you hear a voice, take the drowsy pills. If you meet another soldier with the stone and that is not in the hermetic box, immediately spray them with drowsy gas. And find the box, put it in the box, seal the box, and most important of all, find the stone. Interesting.
Boom!
So I actually never been to this part. Let's just go back and see where that takes us. It just goes to another door. So I can go this way or that way. So I'm gonna go through the water door because I've never been through it. And we'll see where we go from here.
Once you try it, you're hooked.
So let's get the chest here. So I just need more wind essence.
Come on. One fox, no waiting.
So it is much easier than expected. And then we're gonna catch this rye. So we're gonna go here. And it will lead us to this red magical box.
Magical jewel. Reynardo couldn't wait to find a workbench.
So I still need 2 more wind essence. And I'm done. So I can't go through this part. Let's see if we can go through the other way. Because I haven't really played this map. Oops.
birds!
Oops. So I can't go back after going here.
The ravens at least could not get past this point. Obviously, the temple builders knew how to deal with tomb raiders.
So this is the end, I guess, of part 1. I mean, end of chapter 1 for the part 3, actually.
There was a sign. Take the goat across first.
So that was pretty easy. So that's this Ibis Stone.
It was a stone of the purest blackness. It reflected no light, like a void made solid. Nervous, he picked it up. Who said that? It was the stone. Eager. Thirsty. Kill the Emperor's daughter. That seemed tempting and terribly wrong. Zenobia was the Emperor's greatest general and a potent witch. But they had been close once, and Reynardo wasn't sure he really wanted to be Emperor. Why not capture the core of Sky Ripper instead? It was the eye of a lost god torn out by the transcendent Emperor to power his greatest weapon. Not the core, said the stone anxiously. Leave me dead. I will give you the power to do what you want.
So what we can do, we can go with the second option.
The stone bothered him. He hated being told what to do. Wasn't that why he joined the rebellion? Wasn't that why he'd refused to be a soldier? He'd agreed to come on board only if he could freelance. The stone felt a bit clingy. The sage Calaveras had told him where to find the Sky Ripper, a weapon capable of challenging the gods. Even without its armature, the core would still possess great power. He would go there.
So this will be part 2. I mean chapter 2 of part 3. So now it's actually quite
The
interesting.
moment he landed the Farfarer, Reynardo had a rare feeling of regret. He thought, he could turn around and sail for Zenobia's island. He frowned. Wait a minute. He didn't want to kill Zenobia, did he? Sure, technically she was the enemy, but they'd been at Sword Fu school together. They'd never been lovers, but somehow they'd been closer. She'd told him every secret about herself. Except the biggest one. That she was the Emperor's daughter. No. Kill Zenobia, whispered the stone. Before it's too late.
So we can actually go through this way or the other way, which is through here. So we're gonna just go through here because we'll get an extra treasure chest. And then we're gonna jump down here. And I haven't really come down to this map a lot, so I'm actually really not sure where to go.
There was a cat in this one, and something useful. There was something sour in the air, like the earth had ruptured over something that had been fermenting for a very long time. Go through another universe? If so, could the lost gods use one of them to return from exile? Oh, the thought made him shiver. The stone hadn't lied about what it could do for him. With each raven he cut down, he felt a jolt of power flowing into his arm. "You're weak," whispered the stone. "The core will kill you." "Are you afraid of it?" Don't be ridiculous. It chuckled. But it's unstable. It will poison you if someone just carry it. And if you try to use it, it will explode catastrophically. Reynardo did not trust rocks that talked in his head. He went onwards.
Oops. So, the reason why I'm trying to level up the combat skills is because the third tier skill is really powerful.
As he approached the core, the stone became hysterical. No, it's too much power. We'll rip a hole in space and time. He had a sudden vision of plunging his gauntlet into the core and dying in anguish. That wasn't his vision, was it? The stone had sent him its darkest fears, hadn't it? He had a sudden impulse to do exactly that. He raised his right fist and plunged it into the core. There was a rush of light. He thought he could hear the stone screaming. And then he passed out. When Reynardo came to, the core was gone. But the Iess Stone was no longer black, but glowing with a blue light. And it was silent. "I can't hear you," he sang out. And, "You?" It didn't answer. "Ha!" he said. He had defeated the demonic gem with the power of his mind. He felt invincible. It was time to attack the Imperial outpost on the Nexus. Take the battle to the enemy. But among the huge crystals, there was also an observatory. A wise man would probably ask the scientists exactly what he had first. How wise was he?
So what we're gonna do, we're gonna ask for advice.
As the Farfarer made its way toward the Nexus, Reynardo could see tiny sparks in the blackness that was the Iess Stone, as if somewhere within it, the core was still spitting out energy, which the Iess Stone sucked in hungrily. You'd think the stone would want this kind of power, wouldn't it? Thought Reynardo. Well, the scientists would explain it all.
It's always better to be safe than sorry, so that's why I'm going to the scientist. Um, but yeah, I'm always amazed by how different actions can lead to different consequences. Rather than consequences, it will be outcomes. So I guess you can actually see what the outcomes are as you continue to play the game.
See? He'd trusted his gut, and it had worked out. That's what it meant to be a hero. To ignore the naysayers and the oddmakers, and do what you knew was right, and have it turn out to be the right thing. Well, he wasn't worried. Once he got to the observatory, the scientist toads could explain it. Then he could carry the war into the enemy's camp and destroy them all. Oh dear, he was getting a little bloodthirsty, wasn't he? Well, no sense collecting more materials. It was time to make something pointy.
So going up here will give me a chance to get more cores, I guess, ores and essence.
He'd once met a pirate captain. He used hooks to get around his ship. Oh, what was his name again?
Captain Hook. One of the things that I don't really like about the game is that it gets really laggy. And so it's starting to get there. So this is a really good gem, physical resistance. So I will read you guys this. At school we learn the gospel of the transcendent Emperor, the last divinity to peace the skies, who will banish the evil old gods and grant us the gift of time. But could one man, divine as he may be, create something as intricate as time? I have my own theory. I believe that time is a symptom rather than a gift. I'm convinced that on a cosmetic scale there is a pendulum motion between order and chaos. The transcendent emperor ended chaos and started the age we live in, an age of cause and effect of time and logic. Time is merely the tapestry upon which these laws manifest themselves. It is the foundation for order's companion entropy. In the age of chaos, when the old gods reigned, perception carries more weight than facts, emotions can shape words, and time ceases to exist. The age of order is ending. I am merely helping the inevitable entropy has been broken. Fate has been breached. The end of time is coming, and I shall embrace it. Emperor is a grim, the secret general. So that was pretty interesting. So now we're heading back. Hopefully there's like a shop for me to build a sword. I actually got enough materials to make the wind essence sword. I don't really like that sword because I kind of find it useless. But maybe I'm just not used to it, to the speed. Anyway,
Sharp? Check. Pointy? Check. Flexible? Check.
so
What
there's
else do you
gonna
need in
be
a
a fight
sword?
here. was pretty awesome.
Reynardo had never felt better in his life. Normally, a battle would wear him down and he would need a night's sleep. Now he felt like he could go all night and all day. He felt like people were cheering him on, and he could practically hear their applause as he slew one raven after another.
So we're gonna keep going up.
The Imperial fleet was closing in on the rebels, forcing them to come out and fight. Reynardo was itching to bring the fight to the enemy. He had to remind himself not to be too reckless. Ooh, wouldn't his gauntlet look swell with that jewel in it?
So that's it. We got all 4 swords. Now we can go to the special areas. So this map is actually quite repetitive, but fine.
Danced around the room yelling, "Oh yeah, that's how we do it." It was something he liked to do, but only after he'd killed all the witnesses.
Oh yeah, that's what I like to do. Yeah, that's what I like to do. Guys, saying oh yeah. Anyway, we are almost at the end of this chapter. This is where the scientists are. If you remember part 2, this place was destroyed actually.
The toads at the observatory measured the stone with their occult devices. "I fed it the core of Sky Ripper," explained Reynardo. "No more TV blood and souls." "But the core is not an unlimited energy source," said one toad. Another said, "There's a feedback loop, you see, which could overload the stone." "The stone doesn't actually feed on souls," claimed a third, "but on pain of killing another sentient being. If you can truly be at peace with yourself, it would not overload." This was all very confusing. At peace. Yes, the mountains were peaceful and quiet, but he now had the power to turn the tides. He should report to the Rebellion Council and prepare for the decisive battle.
So what we're gonna do, we're gonna make peace. That's right.
The one
peace.
thing he understood from all the toad arguments, maybe the stone did not feed on blood or souls or rage. It fed on empathy. It fed on the pain he felt when he put an end to another being's existence. Even if that other being was a raven intent on killing him. If he could find peace, then he could use the power of the Iess Stone without being taken over by its evil. The mountains. He would go to the mountains. He could find peace there.
So we are actually going to go up to mountains and meditate so that we can find peace, everyone, peace. So hopefully, so after this, we still got one more chapter and then that's it for part 3.
Unfortunately, the mountains were not empty. There were ravens everywhere. No matter. He had to fight, yes, but he didn't have to be angry. Parry, dodge, slash, and breathe. Yes, focus on the rhythm, the dance of it, not on the blood or the raven's core as they died. Ah, it was working. He wasn't feeling those dark jolts of eldritch energy. He wasn't feeling the Iess Stone. No one could beat Reynardo at hot potato.
Oh, oops. My mistake. I don't know what happened there.
Reynardo wondered how much his tailor was going to charge for all the holes in his clothes.
So the game actually gets a little bit slow and laggy if you don't like quit the game and then rejoin. I don't know why, but it's just how it is. So this time we're going to go to a different place. We're going to go through this way. To get more.
Reynardo wondered if it wasn't cheaper to build bridges and stairs.
Actually, it actually makes the game feels a lot more faster when you don't have to climb so much stairs. That's how I find it. I think this is combo
The stone was
bug.
still silent. His mind was his own, and his heart too. He bore them no ill will, these ravens. They were doing their job. They were expressing their nature. Dance, whirl, parry, jab, and breathe. It was all so simple, wasn't it? Something was missing. He didn't feel truly at peace. Wait, wasn't this near where Calaveras lived? The sage would help him figure it all out.
Oh, oops. I went the wrong way. Can I go back down? No.
That had gone rather well, actually.
I actually should have gone downstairs, but I made the mistake of going up here. There's actually a bug here, so I'm going to show you guys the bug. So you can actually hook them, and they will actually fall down. And whoever you hook will die.
Hoped his hook didn't break.
I've set this part. And you can actually die, yeah. So, yeah, so that's the bug that I wanted to show you guys, but it didn't work very well, but yeah. Anyway, I'll show you guys again. So I just need to make sure I hook the right guy. Initially, I just need to hook the fire dude. There we go.
What raven can't fly? Thought Reynardo.
And then that's it. Easy. So it's only this part of the map that allows you to do that. So if you guys remember, we are almost at the end of part 3. Or maybe part 4, oops. Show you a secret way, which is right here.
That is a very cool sword, thought Reynardo. No, seriously. He couldn't feel his paw anymore.
So this takes him to another place where he can breed a scroll, I believe. There we go. So this scroll will say, "Dear Zenobia, do you remember the expedition I've sent to the depths beneath the island? They have returned well. 3 ships have returned after 8 ascent. Of course I mourn their losses, but the knowledge the survivors brought back is invaluable. What they have experienced is incredible. The air gradually grows denser and more turbulent until it becomes a suffocating, bone-crushing thunderstorm. But the island keeps stretching for miles below the surface. They have roots that radiate downwards far beyond sight. The islands are alive. This is the proof I was looking for. The trick air of the depths keeps them afloat, and in the path they find their substances. Do they have conscience? Are they aware of our existence? Or are we merely parasites that they ignore or tolerate? I must prepare another expedition. This time I'll go myself. I need to see this wondrous world of the endless deep sky. I hope you'll visit me before I leave. I would like to hear more about that new friend of yours, Reynardo. With love, father." So his father is actually quite nice.
Think of all the artisans he was creating employment. Truly, he was a job creator.
Man, don't you hate it when both of them attacks you at the same time?
He needed some way to break the ice with this wall, so to speak.
Woohoo, treasure hunter.
The Ibis Stone, silenced by the Sky River's core, had given Reynardo enough power to challenge the Imperial fleet. But what Reynardo was seeking was inner peace. The rebellion was on the verge of extinction, but it would have to wait.
So what I'm gonna upgrade next is Time Mastery. It's a really good skill to have. And then after that I'm gonna get the skill Ultimate Sword. That is actually a really good skill to have.
At the end of the mountain path, he found the wise Calaveras in his workshop. "Do you fix souls or only artifacts?" he asked the sage. "Does your soul need fixing?" asked the sage. "I've been killing a lot of ravens lately," he told the sage. You're a fox," said Calaveras. "To kill birds is part of your nature. You should take joy in it. I mean, I might as well worry about eating flies. Don't you like a fly?" It was true. That's what he had forgotten. The joy. Now he was ready for the final battle. The Farfarer cut through the clouds. The air had never felt so sweet since he was a child. There it was. The dreaded Imperial fleet. He could smell wet hemp ropes ahead, wood and tar, and ravens. Even the fleet smelt good, somehow. He was ready. He was ready.
He was ready to kick some asses. So time to bring on ravens. So this will be the last chapter for part 3. And then we'll definitely unlock the story. I mean the truth.
Reynardo had it all squared away in his head. He would kill the Emperor. Isengrim III had begun well, but he had gone mad. He was trying to invoke the lost gods by means of dark, blasphemous rituals. That was a secret, but the victims had spoken to Reynardo. The ghosts had spoken. No anger. Reynardo could not afford anger. It was empowering the crystal in his sword. That made him stronger, but it clouded his mind. He would not be a hero. A hero strives. Reynardo would just be one with everything. The Emperor would die, and the wheel would turn, and all would be restored without rancor, without sorrow, without pain.
So this is actually
Reynardo
a
remembered when he
shortcut.
first stolen one of these. Good times.
So we're just waiting for ship. So this is like a shortcut. So it minimizes the amount of killing that is involved.
But the more he thought about it, and he had so much more time to think about it now that he was not worrying about the battle, killing the Emperor would not change anything. Another would take his place. Perhaps Zenobia. Perhaps the Speaker of the Rebel Council, and power would corrupt them too, and death would make grief, and grief would lead to hatred. You must lead by example. Reject the violence. Reject the desire to create violence. But how? There was an inscription on the platform. Balaleka lessons with an address.
What the? So this will be like the second final fight.
What else could you hook?
Actually, this will be the final fight, I believe.
Finally, he came to the Emperor's ship. The path behind him was strewn with dead ravens. The path to enlightenment. His mistake, he realized, was trying to change the world. The world would spin and the wheel would revolve whether he strove against it or not. What he had to do was nothing. He had attained enlightenment. He sat down, adopted a full lotus position, and began to meditate. And all around him, the warriors stopped fighting too. They knew. They could feel his enlightenment. They gave up fighting, dropped their weapons, and became his disciples. No, just kidding. The nearest raven stabbed him with a sword and then chopped off his head. I might not have thought this through properly. Thought Reynardo's head as it rolled around the deck and died. And just like that, he was alive again, and back on the Farfarer, still fleeing burning Ubar. The book was still open before him. So, the book was a portal. It took you to the future when your destinies would branch. He had failed and died 3 times, but he'd learned another true thing. The Iess Stone was evil. It would try to corrupt anyone who used it.
So that's the end of part 3, guys. Thanks for watching. Please leave any feedbacks or comments below. Give me a like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, everyone. And the next video will be unlocking the 4th truth. Please click the icon on the right top hand corner and it'll bring you to the next video. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye.